Let's talk about how to open a company in Georgia. My name is Vika. I'm a co-founder of Nomos Georgia. We're based in Tbilisi. We mainly specialize in business and immigration law. I'm really glad that Nomad Capitalist invited me again to talk about company formation in Georgia because it's a really hot topic and everyone is really interested. And after we did our mini-series with Nomad Capitalist last year, it was a big request on company formation in Georgia. The main reason why individuals come here to move their businesses and to open their companies here is because it is a low tax country. It has sophisticated living, and also it is a very, very easy to open business and very relatively easy to open the bank accounts as well if you compare it to other countries. And now with the business structures, I highly recommend if you're someone that is relocating and if you are someone that still has the ties and especially tax ties with other countries, I highly recommend to have an expert opinion on how to relocate and on how to have that tax structure set up in a perfect way. The most common structures in Georgia are a limited liability company and joint stock company. Also, it is really popular to open individual entrepreneurship and pay 1% tax on your monthly income. So the main reason why people choose to open an LLC here is because your liabilities are limited to the creditors. When it comes to individual entrepreneurship, you are liable towards your creditor personally. So the structures in these three entities differ. With a limited liability company, you can have up to 50 shareholders. There is no minimum capital requirement, and you can set up a proper structure with a big business. When it comes to a joint stock company, you should have minimum capital, and also it is really common to have more than 50 shareholders in general. When it comes to individual entrepreneurship, you need to consider that if you want to take the advantage of small business status, which means that paying 1% tax on your monthly turnover, it means that you need to also think about your activities. We have a set of activities in the individual entrepreneurship where you can get small business status only on certain activities and not on every activities you can imagine. For example, if you're someone that is writing a book, if you're someone that is a producer, if you're someone that is renting an apartment, or if you're someone that is in IT and then has a small business, then you can consider this. But sometimes it can happen that someone may mislead you to incorporate the individual entrepreneurship and pay 1% tax. But sometimes it also happens that the revenue service can revoke your small business status certificate and can ask you that you need to pay 20% tax instead of 1% tax if you are not doing the activities that is set for you. Another criteria for the individual entrepreneurs that have small business status is that you should not exceed 500,000 GEL on your yearly turnover. Now, when it comes to LLC, registering a limited liability company in Georgia is relatively really easy. It only takes 24 hours, and it has open window system, which means that you go with your shareholders agreement, with your passport, and the legal address that you need to require in advance, and you incorporate the company in one day. Now, once you incorporate the company, whether it's going to be joint stock company or LLC, you need to open then the company's bank accounts. Now, when it comes to company's bank accounts, it's controversial, and I cannot state one way to do it. It is really individual, and it all comes down to how well your documents and you are prepared for a bank visit. My suggestion when it comes to opening the corporate bank accounts is that you need to have your personal bank accounts in the same bank that you want to open the company accounts with. Well, this helps you with the process because you are already a client of the bank and they already know what type of transactions you are having on your personal bank accounts, and it helps you with opening your corporate ones. So what happens when banks reject you? This is a hard topic for people who really are doing business in Georgia and who really need the bank accounts to operate. When you get rejected, there's no other way to move on to another bank. So generally we have two main banks in Georgia, which is Bank of Georgia and TBC Bank. These are the best banks that have the biggest clientele, basically. When it comes to opening the company here and relocating in Georgia, I think you also need to consider that we have double taxation treaties with more than 57 countries. We also have the possibility to open virtual sole company, which is for IT services only and strictly for IT services. This way, you are paying only 5% tax without VAT and without corporate taxes. Now let's move on to the taxes. The corporate taxes in regular LLC is 15% plus 5% of dividend. But we have a Estonian model, which means that if you do not distribute the money out of the company, you're not paying any taxes, basically. Once you decide to distribute the money, you are paying 15% of corporate taxes and 5% of dividends. When it comes to employment and employing someone from your company, you are paying 20% of income tax at the source, and you are paying 2% of pension from the employer and 2% from the employee. Also, VAT is 18%, and it is only payable once your company reaches 100,000 GEL yearly. If you want to incorporate the company in Georgia or open business and personal bank accounts here, please reach out and we'll be happy to help you.